Welcome back to another 100 horror movie film that you should check out. This week we're going over the 1932 Mummy, which was the first one, I think, to get it started. So sit back, relax, and let me tell you some interesting things I found out about this movie. This version of The Mummy is from 1932, and it's an American horror film starring Boris Karloff. In this film, an ancient Egyptian mummy named Imhotep is discovered by a team of archaeologists and inadvertently brought back to life through a magic scroll. Disguised as a modern Egyptian named Ardith Bey, Imhotep searches for his lost love, whom he believes has been reincarnated into a modern woman. So one of the things that I think is really cool about this movie is that it was inspired by the actual opening of the tomb of, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to destroy this name, and I apologize, Tutankhamun, I think I had said it once before. Tutankhamun, nope. I'm just gonna call him Toucan Sam, because that's the closest I can get. So this was inspired by the actual opening of Toucan Sam, and the curse that was supposed to go along with it for anybody messing with it. I don't think there was any correlation with a lost love in the actual opening up of the tomb, but they've got to write in something for him to do once he comes back to life. Boris Karloff plays the mummy in this super iconic mummy look, which, ironically, he is only in for one scene, which I was super surprised by when I saw this, but when I hear what went into it, it makes a little bit of sense. This makeup took 8 hours to put on and 2 hours to take off. Boris Karloff said that taking the spirit gum from his face was incredibly painful, and he said that overall he found the day the most tiring ordeal he had ever endured. Which is crazy to think that that's a long day. That's 10 hours just around the makeup. And if I remember correctly, they ended the makeup at 7, and he didn't finish his scenes until 2 a.m. And then there was the 2 hours of taking it off. So that's a long day and tiresome of just sitting there and having somebody else do something to your face for that long. And so hats off to him. That's commendable. And I'm sure there are plenty of other actors that have gone through that. I know there's a really terrible story about the makeup and everything for the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which I think might be on this list. If not, it should be. But it did catch me off guard that he was only the iconic mummy in this movie for such a short time. When he comes back as Ardith Bey, there's a little bit of makeup on him. You can tell, actually, I'll even show you. You can tell that he's a little off in some way, but he's definitely not looking like a bandage-wrapped mummy. So it's weird to me that when we think of the mummy or the iconic mummy look, it originated from just such a small portion of the movie. Now, if you were to Google The Mummy, you're going to get a crazy amount of the mummies that pop up. There was a franchise from 1999 to 2008. There was a series in the 50s. There was a reboot that came out in 2012 with Tom Cruise, which I haven't seen yet. I gotta check that out. So with all the remakes and the reboots like that, the fact that this Universal monster had no official sequels to it is kind of mind-boggling to me. Instead, it was kind of reimagined into The Mummy's Hand that came out in 1940, which uses some parts of the original Mummy, which is the backstory for Clarice, the new mummy that they do, which I believe is Lon Chaney Jr. in that makeup. They go on to do The Mummy's Hand, The Mummy's Tomb, The Mummy's Ghost, The Mummy's Curse. Abbott and Costello meet the mummy. So there's a lot of craziness that goes into that without actually being a sequel to the original Mummy, which means I think I have to honor Boris Karloff's mummy by making him one of the Lucky Duck monster duck designs. I'll have to talk to Natalie about that and maybe get him out after Frankenstein. The story with this is very similar to a lot of the remakes of him trying to find his lost love to be reunited, which is a trope I've seen in a lot of things, even going to, you have Dracula, Andre Toulon in the Puppet Master series, or at least in the first one or two. I think it's the second one. Love and lost love is a good reason to come back from the dead, I'm assuming. So now, instead of calling it the scratching, we're gonna do the unwrapping. And I already regret that I said that, but it's too late. It's on film. My battery's dying. I gotta charge it. We're gonna do this anyway. Let's scratch off. No, let's unwrap the mummy from the poster. Okay, so now we get to scratch off the mummy. And I wonder if it's gonna be Boris Karloff not in the mummy suit, or is it gonna be another mummy? Is it a coffin? I'm sorry, a sarcophagi? Oh, okay. That's what he looks like when he's less of the mummy.
By the way, an Amazon package will be delivered today.
We got noises going off all over the place. And there is the mummy. Da da da. So that is The Mummy from 1932. I definitely suggest checking it out. Also a good starter movie for getting kids into horror films. There's not a lot of like super scary stuff, but the idea is there, which I very much enjoy. Sitting down to a nice family horror movie is a good way to spend an evening. For the next movie that we're doing, I had made a mistake a few weeks ago and did The Invisible Man out of order. So we're going to jump over to The Black Cat, which I don't think I know anything about. So I'm curious to check that out too. Hopefully I would be pleasantly surprised. I want to thank everybody for taking time out of your day to watch my rants on movies. Make sure you hit those buttons down below and comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know what movies I should be checking out for my Monday review for Patreon. Speaking of which, big, huge I love you, thank you to all my Patreons who names are going to pop up in just a second. You guys are super awesome. They get the news before everybody else does. They get a movie review exclusive for the second tier that you can join, and a little bit more behind the scenes stuff. So thank you guys very much. You are super awesome. Go watch The Mummy if you haven't already, and I will catch you next Thursday. Later days.